Good minis that are also affordable.
Spiky Bits.
Hey, welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Rob Bear from SpikyBits.com. Today we're going to take a look at the latest releases from Wargames Atlantic. They have some fantasy-based miniatures, but also ones that I think you might be more interested in are the Cannon Fodder miniatures, which really make some really cool offerings for kind of a gamut of a lot of different uses out there, from any of the tabletop sci-fi stuff, but then maybe specifically for different factions and also different game systems that we'll talk about here in a minute. But perhaps the best part about this and a couple of things. Let's talk about Wargames Atlantic for a minute. They've come on the scene. They're kind of a new kind of player in the scene because of all the supply chain issues. They actually have all their production here in the States now, which means that they're not beholden to China and ridiculous prices of containers and things to get product into other countries or other areas of distribution. So they're actually producing here in tabletop normal plastic injection molding, which is incredible. To see that, just people able to pick up and do that in this hobby, because it's incredibly expensive. I priced it. I know how much it costs, and yeah, it's pretty wild to kind of see this. So the prices of these miniatures. Well, another thing that's so cool. Not only did I have the supply chain unlock, but they also have their pricing unlock, because in a lot of cases you get like 30 minis for like $35. They don't come with bases, but who cares? You can get bases. Bases are easy to get. I feel like you can do flat round, like you can do coins, you can do MDF, you can, if you want to go with the bevel base route. I'm sure you have a lot of those from Games Workshop probably laying around, or you can bum them off your friends or whatever. But at the end of the day, the value proposition from Wargames Atlantic is just amazing. It's amazing offerings. The amount of things that you can make out of each kit and the amount of product you get in each kit kind of makes us scratch in our heads like, why don't we get more like this from somebody else? So you have no idea who I'm talking about. This is their website. It's Wargames Atlantic. They distro out of all the different countries, and you can switch and pay in your currency. There's not going to be any crazy arbitrage for the convenience of paying in your currency like another company out there either, right? So you can kind of see their more recent stuff right here. And what we're going to look at today, I have a box of these Goblin warbands. I have the, there was another Lizardmen. Oh, there they are. There's the Lizardmen. They're pretty cool. And then, of course, the Cannon Fodder box. Now, they're all $34.99, and they all have, they all have different things inside of them here. Let's click on the Goblin warbands, see what we get. So there's also combo deals, too. If you buy multiple boxes, it actually comes down pretty significantly from $35 a box. I'm not sure if you can mix and match, to be honest. But I'll have to ask him about that, but you could always add it to a cart and just try it. So these are cool because you can add them to the giant spiders, which we showed you here on the channel in the past. It actually makes like kind of spider riders, which is pretty wild when you start thinking about it. But I mean, look at the detail on, let's open this in a new, can we open a new tab? Let's open a new tab. Open image, new tab, there we go. Is that one? There we go. Look at the detail on these models. Like, it's just wild how crazy cool these look. Like, there's so much going on with them. Now, I'm not going to put these together in today's video, but you definitely got a good idea just from that. And then, of course, you can see the different kinds of bases that they have right here. These are going to be flat kind of MDF style bases. But yeah, so you can combine those with the spiders, or you can get the Lizardmen, which I think are really cool because you can do, and I'll show you in the box here, you can do fantasy versions and also kind of sci-fi versions of these Lizardmen, depending on what you want to do. You can even mix and match them and do some crazy like what if scenarios with like some historical stuff, like maybe you're in the jungles or something like that, and these dudes come crawling out, and here they are, and then give them muskets, and now they're on your team, so why not? But yeah, check out the detail on that. Just crazy cool, good looking stuff here. Let's slide that down a little bit. For all the painted ones, they're almost a kind of gecko-y stripe, but definitely very detailed. I mean, look at those washboard abs right there. All sorts of different weapon options. You got some with guns if you want, or you can do them all with like kind of rudimentary spears. Not sure. Looks like there's a sword right there. We'll check the sprues out here in a second too on that. But I think going back to what I wanted to show you was the Cannon Fodder guys. Now I think I have one of the. Where is it? No, that's not it. Oh, no. there was a preview they did that had a lot of cool pictures in it, and I lost it. Okay. Well, anyways, that was basically all of these pictures here, where it kind of showed them the different versions you can make, because there's a lot of different versions you can make. You can almost make some jungle fighter looking dudes, and then you've got the kind of fugitive with the control collar looking dudes right there, and that gives you a better idea of, like, you know, kind of zoomed in. And then you've got these guys with like the gas masks and stuff, which are kind of, you know, far future, or, you know, you can even say like Necromunda if you really wanted to. These guys kind of Vietnam-y, like Space Nam, I guess. And then you've even got the sci-fi versions of the spiders that you can do as well. So there's a lot of cool stuff that is really neat that you can kind of do with this particular kit. But maybe more importantly is to have, you know, one-to-one uses as Imperial Guard, as alternate, you know, different regiments in there, perhaps, depending on how you want to mix and match the sets. Because remember, there's all these other sets in here. Like, you could add, where are they? You could add the Romjägers, the Grongiers, just to make some like crazy versions of all the different, you know, different regiments and things. They even have the heavy supports here. The Eisenkrim probably will be out of scale with them. We showed you those here in the past. Those are more of a little bit of a different scale, and probably something that you wouldn't want to mix and match with these kits here. But everything else is pretty much fair game, to be quite honest. Even the Panzer layers would probably work as well, to be quite honest. So very, very cool stuff here. And let's take a look at the sprues and show you just exactly what you get. I mean, 35 bucks for 30 miniatures. It's just a little over $1 a mini. It's incredible. So here's the box sets that we have here, and you can see some of them are definitely a little bit chunkier than the others. But you know, as far as like contents go, they all come, well, not the lizards, but the other two come with 30 multi-part miniatures right here. And well, the Lizardmen have a little bit more going on with them. So let's start with them real quick and kind of take a look, because we're going to probably spend more time on the other ones. So these sprues here are generally all very similar. They might even be all the same sprue. Yep, I think they are. Hadn't taken a look at these yet, but they are probably all the same sprue. Yep. So there's a lot of options on here, and that's probably why you only get you don't get 30 of them, you only get 24 of them. But there's so many different options on here. So you get 3 Lizardmen. There's the sword. You get the musket, some spears, locks, some sort of flintlocks. I guess that's what that is. What looks to be an AK. And a bunch of different heads, gas mask heads right there, crazy gecko heads, regular kind of lizardy heads, some different tail options like wagon left or right, I suppose, and the different arms too, some pouches, extra magazine. But yeah, so from there you're able to make a whole lot of different things with this. As we saw, let's check the back of this box. Kind of gives you an idea there what you can do with them. So you can use that AK and the gecko heads, or you can use the gas mask heads and also the AKs, or you can just give them rifles, or you can just do all spears. Whatever you want to do, kind of just depends on what you're kind of feeling there. So not too bad at all. And even at $24 for 35, or excuse me, 24 miniatures for $35, that's still only you're still not even close to $1.50 each, which is kind of crazy when you consider Space Marines are what, like $6 each now for primaries. Next up is the Goblin Warband. Now, where there's 24 of the Lizardmen, there's 30 of these guys, and this sprue is all the same, so you're gonna get a huge stack of those. You can make, I think there's 2 riding legs, so you're gonna have a total of 12 riding legs, 6 saddles if you want to do the saddles. So remember, this giant spider box comes with 12 giant spiders, so you can, if you buy a box of those and a box of these, you will literally have enough to make all the riders for a box of giant spiders, which is really cool. It's almost like they planned it that way, right? But that would also leave you 3 sets. So it'd be 18 goblins. So then you'd have 18 goblins on foot. to kind of accessorize however you want. So that, or you'd have 30 depending, if you, because you can use these sprues right here. Let's see. So you can use these sprues, these right here that are riding legs. You could actually mount them flat. It wouldn't look too crazy depending on what torso you put on it, and then give them weapons and things, and they too could be just goblins on foot. So it's kind of clever how they did all that. Now there's a bunch of different weapons, a bunch of different heads and helmet options here. Of course, there isn't a whole lot of like futuristic weapons, I don't believe. They just all are, shields and spears. It looks like there's some archers, of course. 3 archer sets. There's the quivers. 1, 2, 3. So you're gonna get 18 archer variants, or 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 spear variants. Nope, there's 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Times 6. So you're gonna get a good grip of different weapon options here. You got swords. You can do sword and shield. You can do a mace. It looks like punch dagger. So lots of different options here. All look very, very good as far as the detail and everything like that, and just the fact that how they do all that modularness to really get it on here. And then you have the different shields as well. So you can really have some fun with that. And plus, at like barely over $1 each, it's kind of bananas of value. Then when it comes to the cannon fodder miniatures, like I said, there's a lot of options with this. There's so many different things. They're very modular, and it's really cool to see, and you can definitely combine them with other sets. So we showed you kind of the 3 different things. There are 3 different kind of styles you can make here, kind of a jungle fighter, kind of like a penal legion with a shot collar, or control collars, whatever you want to call them, or the gas mask guys right here. So you got to get 30 of them. And, it's kind of crazy. And there's kind of a hybrid sprue thing here. So you're going to get 1 kind of weapon sprue and 1 deuter sprue, which is basically this. So you're going to get this times 6, like this. Oop, we lost a head. We lost a head. So you're going to get that times 6 to equal the 30, right? Which is, or did I do it backwards? I did it backwards. You're going to get that times 5. Okay, but either way, it does it. Same. So let's take a look at one of these sprues. Slide that head out of the way, just to show you all the different options that you can literally make with this. So here are, and they also announced there's some lady versions of these coming out, so they're already proved to be very popular. So you can see the jumpsuit kind of a style to this, and then depending on what different heads and what different equipment you put on it, it quickly transforms. You put these heads on there, it looks a lot different. You put these heads with the shock collars on there, it looks a lot different, right? It looks more like a penal legion sort of deal. You got, where the gas masks there on the other sprue. Yeah, that's these. So those are on that sprue right there. You've got all these cool backpacks, which you don't necessarily have to give the cannon fodder, the penal legion's backpacks, and then they look more like, prisoners and such. And then you've got all your variants on weapons. So it looks like some sort of snub-nosed sniper. No, that's just a normal las without a bayonet on it. And then you got kind of a plasma type thing here, a scope, some chains and things to kind of give them that prisoner-y feel if you really want to. Some gear, some pouches, looks like a bomb or a respirator, something right there. Single pistol, so that's going to give you a lot of different options. And then you've even got 1 kneeling guy right here too. So, and some officer kind of peak cap things. So just kind of depending on what you want to do, you can really, with multiple boxes of these, you could really do a lot, to be quite honest. It's kind of nuts. Okay, so here's a build that, like I said, depending on what gear you put on, like the backpack and the helmet, it quickly transforms into a more like structured kind of regiment sort of looking model right here. But it's very crisp, and when you get some paint on them, you can really do a lot with this and have a really cool style to it. Now these are on larger 32mm bases, which, as I said in the opening, just kind of have laying around. Then you've got this guy here, which is more of a sergeant with a pistol sort of deal, or it doesn't necessarily have to be a sergeant, but he can kind of be whatever, a guard. There's a lot of different possibilities here. Again, with the helmet style here, crouching with the las gun, with some gear and things on it, definitely looks like a more structured kind of military kind of fighting force right there. And again, depending on how you paint it, you could do a lot with that. And then here's the gas mask looking guys, which I think are kind of my favorite. No, it's not like Deathcore Creed kind of looking or anything as far as like trench warfare, but it's still very cool looking. Like it's definitely almost like a Outbreak or like Zombicide kind of feel to it, which I think is really, really cool. And I can see where a lot of people would just want those heads in general for other projects. Here's the Penal Legion looking fella here with either a shot collar or a control collar. The weapon, of course, and some chains, because we're in a hurry. We don't have time to fully unchain. You just get cut, just get cut in half and go fend for yourself with this here las gun. So very, very interesting stuff there. And as far as size goes, well, they're definitely on point, I think, with some of the other stuff you might be more familiar with. Like here's a Deathcore Kriegs, then that obviously is going to be a little bit. When you put it base to base, about the same size. Of course, the new plastic ones are a little bit bigger. This is a forge-rolled one, if you remember those sort of things. So that definitely gets you on point with what about the right scale. And then here's a Primaris Space Marine, which again, definitely right about the same scale. If you're looking to scoop these up for Warhammer 40K, going to fit right in with your immersion and your aesthetic, I suppose. So at the end of the day, I still think Wargames Atlantic is probably one of the, if not the best value when it comes to plastic miniatures on, in the tabletop wargaming scene out there right now. And with more and more kits that they continue to put out, there's more and more possibilities for customization. And I think this cannon fodder is like the base for that, combining it with some of those other faction releases like the Romjagers and the Grognir, I think are going to be really great to see them combined. And of course, you've already got the Goblin Warband that can go with the Giant Spiders and the Lizardmen, which are very, very super modular, but a little bit less on the model count inside of there. So whatever your interest is, whatever your game system is, there's probably something over there to check out. So, definitely hit it up, and, they have great deals on buying multiple boxes. I really can't say enough about the value when it comes to that stuff, and the fact that now they are able to get stuff restocked and going and manufactured a lot quicker because they're here in the States doing it and not beholden to, overseas shipping and things like that. Is a great, great feature for the hobby in general. So check them out. Wargamesatlantic.com. Is the website, and you can always follow them on their socials and things. But before you do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on all our videos. If you liked that video feature, consider supporting us over at patreon.com and get back in the mail each month a miniature crate full of some of the stuff we review here, as well as some of the top 3D artist designs out there too, to help support what they're doing. Plus, discount coupon codes from some of those same manufacturers. They're yours to keep, whether you cancel or stay on. It's totally up to you. Obviously, we want to keep you as happy as possible. So check it out over at patreon.com/spikybits.